Alright, so I'm making teriyaki sauce, my favorite personal recipe. To start, we need 1 cup of water. Really? My cat just got interested. So 1 8-ounce cup of water into a relatively tall saucepan. Go ahead and turn that to a medium-high heat. I'm going to say a 7 or an 8. And then we're just going to let that heat up. We'll need 1 large clove of garlic. And we're just going to mince that. I'm not a professional, I don't have an exact technique, so don't judge me. And yeah, I just want to try and have, you know, as small of pieces as we can. Okay. So, got our garlic minced. Got our water in the pot. We're going to go ahead and add our liquids. So we'll add the cooking wine. Add our michu. Every drop. Soy sauce. Alright, and then we'll just mix those together. Rinse in the pot. We've just got a nice dark mixture so far. From there, I'm gonna add my sugar. And I'm just stirring in that sugar. Gonna add in my honey. And my preferred mixture of honey is 1/8 cup Heavenly Organics honey, and then 1/8 cup of Manuka honey. Just gives me a nice blend of kind of sweet and tart. And with the Heavenly Organics, I prefer the raw white honey actually, but any of their honey is great for teriyaki. Alright, so just mixed those in there. So we've got our liquids, we've got our sweets. Now we're going to add our sours, which is the garlic. Right into the pot. And then we're going to add our ground ginger, also right into the pot. And if you have any clumps, just take the back of your spoon or a fork and just press them against the side of the pot. And then just stir it in there. And that's coming together very nicely. And so we've added our sweets, we've added our sours, and then I work a little bit backwards. And now I'm gonna add in, a little bit of this mixture to my cornstarch here and make that into a slurry. So I'm just going to take about 2 tablespoons, add that to my cornstarch, slurry that, and you may need a little bit more, but that's okay. Make sure you scrape the sides and make that into a nice slurry. You don't want to feel any sticking on the sides because that means you have dry cornstarch. And then something nice about a glass jar is you can always check the bottom too. Okay, so got a nice slurry there, and then we're going to take that, add the cornstarch slurry right into our teriyaki. And we want to get every bit of that. And then we want to keep stirring this because I could tell it was soon to start sticking. And with honey and sugar and heat, it will sneak up on you. Turning that down just a tad bit. And now that we have just about everything mixed together, we're going to let this start to simmer. And we're going to let that simmer for 5 minutes. And you're going to want to stir it every now and then. Rather frequently, actually, because you don't want it to stick or burn. Alright, so it's starting to simmer. Just going to give it a stir. Make sure everything's incorporating together nicely. And then setting a timer for 5 minutes. Stirring every now and then. And then we're just going to let this simmer for 5 minutes. Alright, you can see it's really starting to thicken up now. It's really getting a bit of substance to it. Starting to see more thicker. Yeah. Just going to let it simmer for the remaining 2 or 3 minutes. And yeah. Alright, so it's been 5 minutes. More accurately, it's been 6. The sauce is pretty thick. Gonna go ahead, turn off the eye. It's definitely at a nice thickness, and it's gonna thicken some more as it stands. And I'm just taking just a basic kitchen rag or washcloth, whatever you want to call it. Put it on the counter, and it's wet with cold water, by the way. Put down some cooling racks. Helps it cool a bit quicker, and then I'm just going to set that right on top. And then we're just going to let this cool before it gets too thick and too cold. I'm going to add the final ingredient, which is the sesame seeds, right into the mix there. And sesame seeds are completely optional, but I feel like it adds a subtle taste to it and definitely a much nicer aesthetic. But yep, just gonna stir those in. Let that sit and cool for a bit. And then as far as cooking goes, you're done. Just need to have a glass jar to put it in and refrigerate it.
2.
Alright, so the teriyaki sauce is complete. It is also cool, and now I'm just going to put it in an old recycled jar. Perfect. Alright, and then you can see there's still some steam coming off. It's cool enough to touch, but I don't want it to just go and sweat, so I'm just going to leave the lid off and let it sit on my countertop until it's completely cool. Whenever that happens, lid it, put it in the fridge, and it's good to use. Homemade teriyaki sauce. Jang!